Yes.
Let me know when you're ready. Time is really 1:30. Ready? It being May 20th, 2025 at 1:30, we're going to commence the proceedings before the official magistrate for code enforcement for the city of Palatka. By way of introduction, my name is Ron Brown. I'm an attorney licensed in the state of Florida, and pursuant to state statute and city code, I've been appointed by the city commission of the city of Palatka to preside over today's proceedings. This is not a formal court of law. We're not bound by the formal rules of evidence or the formal rules of civil procedures you might find in the courthouse downtown. We are by law, however, required to follow the basic note and fairness, and to make sure that all the evidence and testimony that we receive is what is called substantial and competent. And that is by definition evidence which would allow a reasonable person to reach a reasonable conclusion on the matter at hand. You don't have to reach the same conclusion. It just has to be a reasonable conclusion based on the evidence presented. One of the other requirements of that testimony is that it shall be based on personal knowledge and it shall be sworn. I'm going to ask at this time that all those persons who will be testifying on behalf of the city to please rise and we'll take an oath and let the record show that Ms. Lowe, Mr. Bartelli, and Ms. Dryer have all risen and raised their right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And let the record show that all have answered in the affirmative, and those attestations apply to each of the hearings. We have 2 hearings on our agenda. We do not see a respondent present, but we will call each case and call each respondent to make sure they have an opportunity to be heard if they appear. Again, we'll take the case in the order of appearance on the agenda. These are both new cases. And we'll begin with case 2024-161. Owner appears to be Mary J. Golden Andrews and Kent Andrews. Is that correct, Mr. Bartel?
Yes, sir.
All right, this property is located at 401 South 14th Street. You have 3 alleged violations. One of 30-169A of the code, deteriorating paint. Section 30-32A1, trash delivery, and 30-32A12, blocking sidewalks and pathways. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Could you give me, please proceed.
Harold
Let
Bartelli.
me ask, just for the record, for Mary J. Golden Andrews, or Kenneth Golden Andrews or anyone representing them present? There is no, please.
Harold Bartelli, City Palatka Code Enforcement Compliance Officer. Speed number 2024. South 14th Street, Palatka, Florida. This is a transfer case from Mr. David Green. David Green.
Sure.
There's a letter, license both sent by Mr. Green. Thanks. And sent by my bill, just briefly.
And the letters made a part of the record. This gentleman involved. Okay, thank you. Let's have a seat if you like. We're hearing another case and we'll hear you shortly. All right. Let me do a little due process due diligence, if I may. The correct address for the respondents is that the property address, is that correct? Or not?
Or in South 14th Street.
Well, if the notification was sent to 401 South 14th Street, Palatka, Florida 32177.
Yes, sir.
That's the subject property.
Yes, sir.
And that's the official address on the property for your tax collector.
Yes, sir.
And the certified letter was returned.
No, sir. Nothing returned, nothing signed,
Was the green card returned?
nothing.
Well, in the file, there's a green card, it looks like.
That's what I stand. That's a copy of the green card. The front side is a.
Okay, that's just a copy, was there?
Yes, sir. It's a copy.
So you didn't get the envelope back?
Nothing.
Card or anything?
Nothing back from myself or from prior Mr. Green.
But you have included in the record a certified mail receipt from the postal service.
Yes,
Okay. Did you post the property?
yes, sir.
Okay, and you had your affidavit of posting included in the record.
Yes, sir.
The other documents in the record are official records of the city,
Yes, sir.
and they're true and correct copies of those records.
Yes, sir.
Have any contact with either Mary J. Andrews, Golden Andrews, or Kenneth Golden Andrews?
Mr. Kenneth Andrews.
When did you have contact with him?
I've had a couple interactions, when I first previously took over the case. From the case with Mr. Green, I took over and went out to the property to update my own personal pictures. First by Mr. Informed that it was not fit for the property, or they're harassing him and
Were you taking pictures from the public right of way?
from the sidewalk in the street.
All right.
I explained to him who I was, introduced myself, who I was taking over the case. Explained, but one issue we had, portion is that then you take pictures of that.
Right. Well, that was in compliance.
No, sir.
All right, the scrutiny looks like it's alleging, again, 3 violations, 1 during deteriorating paint, trash, blocking sidewalks. You have to provide your evidence for us.
Yes, sir.
Did you take the photographs you're about to show us?
Yes, sir. I have taken the photographs and I have some previous ones from Mr. Green.
As to the photographs you took, do the photographs accurately represent the condition of the property on date on which you took them?
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's a notice of posting property.
All right. Okay, we're looking at first, which one? That's the posting?
Yes, it's
photograph?
posting of the property. Yes, sir.
And this is 5A?
Yes, sir.
Is this South 14th? Is this over by the ravine gardens?
No, sir. It's over by the ball. There's a park over there.
Okay.
It's like one block behind.
That's the tax collector's official roles. Okay, please go forward. Find the first photograph. Well, the second photograph, he had one with the. That was good. That was the posting. Then we need the next photo.
Yeah. There's like.
Let's proceed with the hard piece since we don't.
Got you. First copy, make sure they're included in the record. This looks like 1A is the first one. Is that-
Yes, sir. One alpha is taken on November 6, 2024 by Mr. David Green.
Okay, just, you did not take this photo, but you have
Yes.
seen the property?
Yes, sir.
When's the last time you saw the property?
Went by this morning on my way.
Okay, does the property differ in any way from what you see in the photographs?
Yes, sir, something else.
Why don't we could first go to your photograph?
Okay, mine would be, one Bravo.
Okay,
I'm taking that picture on March 25th. It's, left side of the house. Pictures.
so this is the violation of,
Deterring thing.
okay. Just have the code section here. Bear with me. Your dexterity varies from day to day.
Yes, sir. 30-16 or 1.
Right. I was just pulling up the code provision. We're at 49, which one was this? 169?
Yes, sir. The cheering thing. One Bravo. Photo.
Yeah, got it.
Bring it out of the house.
Okay, go back to 169A for me.
Mhm.
And we're looking at 1B. All deteriorated structure and decorative elements visible from a public right of way should be repaired or replaced. So go back to you're citing one.
Mhm.
169
One Bravo.
for deteriorating paint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all exposed wood must be stained or painted. Every part should be cleaned of graffiti, litter, dirt, or other debris. Where once painted surfaces, not more than 10% may be free of paint or stain. Is that what you're looking at?
Yes, sir. That's
All right, so go back to your photo that you took. Oh, you have it. 1B. So I'm looking at this photo, it looks like a photograph of the front and left elevation.
Yes, sir.
Being from South 14th Street.
yes, sir. And there's
So precisely what's deteriorating paint is here.
where the arrow is pointing, the bottom half. Actually. Fake, whatever the numbers are.
And that's more than 10% of the surface area.
Plus, there's more on the other side of the house. Also.
Well, I'm looking at the
Oh, yes,
piece
sir.
visible from the street.
Yes,
And
sir.
you were standing on 14th Street right away when you took this?
Yes, sir.
So the solution would be what?
Repaint.
To a consistent color?
Yes, sir.
Can that be done without repainting the whole house?
Probably not. Yes, sir.
Right, next.
If you're looking at 2 alpha, that was one taken by Mr. Green in November 24th.
Okay.
Crash and debris. The others I took that is if you look at my picture, 2 Bravo. There's cooling. There's nothing going on by the house.
And this was a violation alleged of 30-32A1
Yes.
of the code.
No one. Yes, sir. Crash and
Right,
debris.
debris.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the pertinent section says accumulation of trash, junk or debris, living and non-living plant material, hazard trees and stagnant water.
Yes.
So which of those is we looking at in this photo?
The cut telephone poles right there on the sidewalk in front of the fence. There's more on the other side of that.
So are we looking at just man-made items that are stored outside?
Either he used them for whatever usage and never got rid of them. As from Mr. Green's, he took them in November 24.
Well, read that the way the ordinance reads is non-living plant material.
Yes.
Or hazard trees or stagnant water. Are any of those at issue? Like dead vegetation?
No,
stagnant water,
no, sir.
trees.
It's 2 pieces of
I make it easy, it's just the man-made item.
right, man-made.
Okay. And those are the ones that you can see from the right of way.
From
That
the
need to be removed or stored in some closed area.
correct.
And I'm looking at, well, the garbage cans don't count.
Two Bravo. No, sir.
Okay, but I'm looking at some plastic buckets, the telephone pole sections.
Yes, sir. That's,
What about the trailer?
those are on four pictures to come.
Okay, well, if I'm looking at it now, it's a trailer
Okay.
violation.
Trash and debris.
The trailer is not a violation.
No, sir.
Okay,
There's another trailer.
I just want to make sure we have a clear statement what the
Right.
owner needs to do to bring it into compliance.
Right.
All right, next.
If you're looking at 3 Alpha, this is a picture taken by Mr. David Green on November 6th. 3 Bravo, same items as further. Picture was taken on 25th. Noticing that debris is blocking the sidewalk. The triangle question right there is in the middle of the right, yes. There is a motor stand that's next to the fence that has a chain wrapped around the fence, motor stand, and goes over to that. Pretty much. You can't make it with sidewalks and passing.
That's related to 30-32A12.
Yes, sir. For Alpha.
You're going back to 30-169A.
Yes, sir. Interior and paint. This would be the right side of the house.
It's more than 10% of the house
Yes,
is
sir.
discolored
Yes, sir.
and repainted.
Yes, sir. For Bravo is the,
Anything else?
if you look at that Ford Bravo's picture I was taken by myself on April 25th. Items still blocking the sidewalk. Debris.
So mainly it's the truck, the tire, the trailer.
Yeah, well, we didn't.
Well, that's not, the tire's actually on the sidewalk.
No.
The truck's on the sidewalk, the trailer's on the sidewalk.
Yes, sir, and all the debris on the other side of the sidewalk.
Okay.
But it's making the sidewalk pretty much impassable. I spoke to him and explained to him we didn't have it there.
I've spoken to him and he did not comply after.
Correct. It's just,
All right. Anything else?
no, sir.
All right, last call for Mary Jane Golden Andrews or Kenneth Golden Andrews. Seeing and hearing no one, based on the evidence and testimony, we're going to find it appropriate to enter an order finding 3 violations related to the property of 401 South 14th Street. Violation of section 30-169A of the city code due to deteriorating paint on the front, right, and left elevations of the property as seen from South 14th Street. The paint is deteriorating more than 10% of each of the elevations, and solution being a repaint to a consistent color. A violation of section 30-32A1 of the due to man-made trash and debris located on the visible areas of the property. Solution to be to remove those items from site or to remove them from the property. In section 30-32A12 of the city code, blocking sidewalks and pathways. It looks like there's a porch trailer, some man-made items actually stored on the sidewalk as well as a truck blocking the right. It's 30 days gonna be enough.
We feel the city is 30 days because we gave them pretty much 6 months. He's known about it and refused to do anything. And that's all. So 30 days is way off.
And $75 is $25 per violation per day.
Yes, sir.
Which is a fairly de minimis. Fine. All right. We'll enter an order finding the violations and assessing a fine of $75. That's $25 per day per violation. The property is not brought into compliance by the end of the business day on June 20th, 2025.
Thank you.
Anything else in that case?
No, sir.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Next case is going to be case number 2023-202, William Neely Jr., Carolyn Ham, property located at 1406 St. John's Avenue. Or either William Neely Jr. or Carolyn Ham or anyone representing either of them present today. Are you related to this case?
Yeah,
Please come on up.
ain't coming over for video.
Well, here's the deal. We have to record this by state law.
Go ahead,
Well, I don't,
go ahead.
that's fine. I just want you to understand that your right to appeal depends on you preparing a record of the case. And I don't want you to lose that right because you can't prepare a record. And the only record is going to be the audio recording. And I'll do my best to hear you. So I'm just telling you from your benefit, if you want to sit back there, that's fine. We'll do our best to understand what your statements are and your responses. You do have a right to make statements. You do have a right to make, present physical evidence regarding the situation. So that's fine. And what is your name for the record?
William Neely Jr.
All right, so you are an owner of the property, 1406 St. John's Avenue.
Oh, 1404 and a half, St. John.
Well, this is 1406.
Then y'all got that, see.
That's what is actually on the tax record.
It used to be a house in front of mine, they tore it down.
Well, hang on. With the property appraiser's card.
1406 St. John's. Yes, ma'am.
Well, the property appraiser's card says 1404 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
My apologies, because I pulled up the other one and it has the 911 as 1406.
Why did you say that?
My apologies. Yes, sir.
But it's the same law.
The mailing address is 1404 and a half,
That's right.
but it has the 911 as 1406.
And she's absolutely right. The 911 is 1406, so 911 knows physically where to go within the city. The mailing address is 1404 and a half. So that's
But it's the same law.
correct. They're one.
This is the same piece of property.
Yeah, they tore that house down.
Why do you do that? I'm not arguing that with you. But your house is on the same law.
Right.
Okay, and what, Ms. Webb was talking about had to do with the fact, the county to give the 911 address for response is 1406, but the official address of the property is 1404 and a half. Is that the mailing address?
That's what I have as the mailing address. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
The 1404 and a half is what I have as mailing. Yes, sir.
So did we mail it to 1404 and a half?
I mailed it to the 1404 and a half.
Okay. Did you get a certified letter? I'm sorry?
Yes, I got it.
You have it. Okay, so you're here as a result of being notified. Okay, that's fine. One of the things we're always concerned about, making sure that the property owner has notice of what's going on, what the violation is, when the hearing is. I'm glad you're here, which means you had notice. And we can proceed based on that notion. That being said, it looks like we have 3 alleged violations. One of section 30-32A of the city code, overgrown grass, trash and debris, and that's man-made trash.
And most of it is living.
Okay, we'll take a look at it. At 30-32A10, roofing and disrepair. And 30-32D, abandoned vehicles, untagged vehicles, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, and you have some demonstrative evidence for us.
I do. This is a transfer
hang on,
case.
hang on.
I'm sorry.
And Mr. Neely, just so you understand, we're showing these photos on the screen.
Yeah, those are, I don't put trouble in top of them.
Okay, that's fine. So what we're gonna do is take a look at each of the photos. Now, Ms. Dryer, did you take each of the photographs you're about to show us?
This one I did not. This one was taken by Mr. Green. This is a transfer case from him.
Right, did you take photographs?
Yes, sir, I did.
As to each of the photographs you took, did the photographs, you took them yourself, correct?
Yes,
And
sir.
they actually represent the condition of the property on the date in which you took them.
Yes, sir.
Right. So show me first what you have. This is 1B.
Okay. Yes, that's 1B. That's the overgrown grass still coming out of the top of the fence line and below.
And help me out with the ordinance, make sure Mr. Neely understands
That is
precisely what we're looking at.
the overgrown grass.
So what's, we're talking about the, okay, go back. Once I say 1B, thank you. So we got two arrows here. It looks like you're pointing at some vines. Is that what we're looking at?
The grass, it's like tree, it looks like trees growing up it and coming up.
Okay, here's the way this works. Okay. She's gonna make a presentation. Then you have all the time you want after that to make any presentation you want to make. But we're going to make a very clear record of today's proceedings to make sure everybody understands exactly what's going on. So it helps, because we can't make that record if we're talking on top of each other. And I'm not sure you're even being picked up, and nonetheless, I can't make out what you're saying or she's saying if you're both of you talking at once. It really helps to find it. So why don't you start, show me again what the code violation is with relation to the two arrows. I'm looking at some arrows that looks like vines to me. And then you have another arrow above this, looks like a fencing.
Okay, the arrows that are showing is in accordance to section 3032 of the overgrown grass. It does look like vines, but it's not. There's shrubbery that has grown over. That's what the long arrow is showing on the taller fence, the shrubbery that has grown over, as well as on the short arrow on the sides. You can see where I'm pointing at the shrubbery and the vines growing up the pole there.
So are we citing the section of the code that deals with excessive and unintended growth of grass, weeds, brush, branches, or other overgrowth?
Yes, sir.
All right, help me when you cite it for the record, make sure you tell me which language in the code you want me
Yes,
to
sir.
take a look at.
Yes, sir.
So your city claiming that this photo 1B has excessive unintended growth of grass, growth of grass, weeds, brush, branches, or other overgrowth. So
Yes,
what
sir.
needs to be done to bring it into compliance according to the city?
Clean up the shrubberies, clean up all that overgrown grass down below his fence line, clean that up. Get all the overgrown grass, just clean it up, make it look
So-
not abandoned, and
So we need to remove the vines from the house?
they're not vines on the home. It looks like shrubbery that has just grown way over. Just kind of clean it up. If he wants to leave it there, clean it up, make it look presentable to where it's not inviting destructive
Well, just so I'm clear and he's clear,
practices.
as to the ground level, is that an issue?
Yes, sir, that needs to be cleaned up as well. Kind of mow that down, clean up the ground.
And to the ground, is that the city standard for that?
The overgrown grass, yeah.
On the ground, to the ground?
It is, I did not, I will say I did not measure to
Okay.
see that it was actually 18 inches.
Was it inconsistent with what's going on in the rest of the neighborhood?
What he's around, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All you city that needs to make it consistent
Just
with
make
what's
it,
going on in the rest.
yes, sir.
All right. And then as to the top parts, what needs to be done there? Just make it, get, what's on the house is okay?
No, you want to clean all that up. You want to clean it up, make it look nice. If he wants his shrubbery to be that tall, which is, it could be his call. If he wants it to be that tall, just kind of clean it up, not make it look so hairy and
So we need to
striking.
tend it.
And it needs a lot of attention. Just kind of clean it up and give it some attention.
Is it okay to grow ivy on a house in this city?
No, it is not.
You can't grow ivy on a house in this
I'm
city?
gonna say I'm gonna retract that and say I don't know for sure if it is. I'm still new at this, so
This is,
please.
one of Special Magistrate Brown's favorite subject.
All right. I think the key word is untended. In that respect, if you're gonna do something, at least manage it. All
Yes,
right,
sir.
what's your next? We'll go to A, show me one you have. It's 2B.
Again, that's just showing down the side of the fence line, the overgrown shrubbery that's over his fence.
Okay, well, hold on, go back. So again, this is the same, basically the same shot from a little bit different angle
Yeah.
in the previous photo.
This is the opposite side of the home.
Okay.
This is on the right side of
the
the-
previous one you showed me?
Yes, sir.
All right, so same kind of fencing material,
Yes, sir.
and the grass is just to be brought down to what's consistent with the neighborhood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's the violations? You got three other You just attending
just-
this vegetation?
Just attend to it, just tend to it and clean it up.
So he had to go up on that high wire and take that grass down?
That's what
You know, the arrow's up a little higher than what it should be.
So what's the top arrow on the?
It's pointing down towards that tree. At one point in time, the tree was cleaned up, but it kind of grew back up some more. So just clean it up the best you can. I
So
mean, I'm
these
not
are-
asking him to
These are
climb the wire.
vines, these are vines in the tree?
Those look like vines, yes. I'm not asking him to climb up in the tree or, you know, get on the electrical lines. I'm not asking him to do that. That he would, I guess you would have to contact, maybe his electric
Well,
company with.
If they're electrical lines, they generally maintain them, correct?
Right, right.
So again, in this photo, mowing the grass is fairly straightforward.
Mhm.
Growing untended vegetation on the house, that needs to be removed.
That needs to be removed and.
As to the
attended to.
power pole, we're gonna leave that to the power.
Right.
Sorry.
But there's a tree back there. My arrow's a little higher than it should have been.
Okay, next. Okay, that's
These are the under
3B.
3B. These are his
And
abandoned vehicles.
this is, we're looking at section 30-32B of the code, abandoned vehicles untagged.
Yes, sir. And as you see, he
Wait
did,
For the record, that section of the code provides that abandoned property includes not limited to wrecked or derelict property left behind when it appears the former is not intended to come back or reuse it. It can be vehicles left behind a roadside for 3 to 5 days. An abandoned vehicle means not limited to wrecked, derelict, unprotected from the elements, but also a vehicle in the state of disuse, neglect, a vehicle without a license plate, a vehicle with a license plate not registered to that vehicle, a vehicle that does not have a registration fixed or affixed to the license plate, a vehicle which has a registration fixed or affixed, which has expired. So which one of these is there?
I'm going off of what I can say, what I can see the two, yes, they are covered. The other ones,
Here's a definite, you have a duty to tell me what makes them abandoned under your code.
under my code. The back one looks like he does look abandoned. He doesn't look like he's been tended to. He doesn't look like he's.
What?
a-
How many times have you been out to the property?
About 2 or 3 times, yes, sir.
2 or 3?
About 3 times. I'm gonna say 3 times.
Okay, well, about, you either did or you didn't go. All right.
3 times.
And during the time, have you seen these vehicles moved?
No, sir.
All right, these vehicles have tarps on them, 2 of them. How can you tell, is the one in the center even an issue that has a tarp on it?
Now I would say probably not. It's not going to be an issue because I can't see that there was not a tag on it. The prior picture before that, yes, you could see that there was not a tag on it. As with the
Alright.
white one, the 2 that are backed in, I can't see that there's no tag on them.
Alright.
To know that they're still
Well,
registered.
what's uncovered is the front of both of these cars. Right.
The black one on the right in front of the truck that's covered, and then the white one is, which the front of the white one is uncovered. But the truck is not uncovered.
The only reason I bring that up is that Florida doesn't require front license plates, so you
No.
haven't ever seen the license plates on these vehicles.
No, sir.
Okay, so other than that, is there some evidence you have that they're abandoned?
They're the condition that they're in makes me believe that they would be
I
abandoned.
mean,
because they've not
do you
been.
know if they moved or not, or?
No, sir.
You know where I'm coming from, it says, I'm looking for some evidence that shows that they're abandoned under your code, because what I have to go by is the way your code describes abandoned.
Yeah,
And the way it describes it is wrecked, derelict, left abandoned, unprotected from the elements. Disuse, neglect without a license plate, a plate that's not registered. Plate that's registered, but it's expired. You haven't seen the plates.
No, sir.
You don't know if they move or not.
No, sir. But
Oh.
they have been, yeah, they have been there since 2024. And my picture was taken in
Well, go
2000.
back to the other photograph. This is the part of the official record of the city, correct? These are
Yes,
photographs Mr. Green took,
yes, sir.
and they're true and correct copies of those.
To my knowledge, yes, sir.
Is that black truck what's under the blue tarp now?
Yes, sir.
And it looks to me like all three of those vehicles, if that photograph is accurate, are exactly in the location they were in December 24.
Yes, sir.
They haven't been moved.
They have not been moved
Okay.
since 24. They are covered, but they have not been moved in.
All right, anything else?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Neely, what would you like to say, sir? You ask any questions you may have for her?
Black car. For y'all, it's on the black car. It's registry. Or you can't say nothing about that. I went and bought charge for that, bought charge for the other. I see everything else I got charged for. But that other stuff that's going up there, that's causing items. But since you've been by there, I've been cutting and I've been up on top of that. I've been trying to make repairs. I just retired from here. But I regret it. You right, I did regret it some because I went to focusing on taking care of everybody in the town with the clamshell. You right, I did went to regret it, and then it got to a point where it was kind of bad. So I'm trying to clean it up. I only get my check once a month. So when I get my money, I put some down on it, trying to get you. After a while, you won't see them cars in the front. Because I tell my to my other house, but you will not see them. Probably won't see the black one. You probably won't see the white. I'm just telling you. I'm trying to apply with y'all, but that's why when I put the fence up, I couldn't afford them to come out there and try to put a nice fence up. But I know that weather won't beat that tin up the way they beat those fences up. So I don't put them up, and they came back down. You see the one on the back side, which is the donut shop, so with the Dunkin' Donuts on, I just tacked into it. And just to keep everything down, kind of nice for me, all that had. But that stuff up there, I went up there yesterday and cut some of it down fence, and I've been back in the fence and cut all of that debris out. I'm gonna get it back up to what y'all want, but it's gonna take me a little time because I don't have. They only started paying me, and that December of last year, because they switched over everything, and everything got switched over. So I didn't get my money until December, and I left in September, before the 1st of September. And I didn't get my money until the last week, almost there in December. So then after December, so I got over into this year, then y'all want to start that out. So, and I also don't open up both of my cars, that Lowe's and that Home Depot. So I got all that money instead of going out, and I already had them consolidate my bill. And by them folding my checks and stuff. That put me behind, so I had to get this one. Make sure I paid my people. So I had to go back and reopen all that and my loan. I had to go reopen all that, so I'm back in debt again. Behind this. Each one of them candy costs $51. If you buy each section of that can, cost me $51. I don't know what it's gonna cost to put the whole fence around it. But each one of them pieces of tin cost me $51. Everything you can buy is hot. I had it up, reason I had it up around the house. I had it up around the house to keep, so I could get out there outside the house. And hear people coming out there, but there be people going around. And how that wood is, they'll pick it up. They're tin too. So I had all that, ain't nothing else I could say, but I do have them covered up, and I try to keep them covered up. You won't, like I say, you won't see them. That's why. So I'm gonna take them out there to my other.
Yes, sir.
Let me sure I understand something. Let me ask you first of all, Mr. Neely, are these cars licensed and tagged and registered?
It was back in the day, but when I went to have the amount of issues with them, I just stopped doing what I was doing with them and just closing them up and then got
Well,
that.
The way the city code reads, and the county code reads the same way, but right now the concern is the city code. Is that an unlicensed, untagged vehicle is abandoned by definition and does create a code violation. Something needs to be done with regard to that. If they're not otherwise operable, that is movable.
It moved.
Okay. Well, they need to be licensed and tagged to be on the property and they need to be operable. Now, how much time is the city recommending to me or?
120 days.
It would be September 17th.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Neely, can you solve the problem with the vehicles by September 17th? That's 120 days, 4 months. Sir? I mean, the city's entitled to an order, from what I see now, from what I'm hearing, an order finding a violation. And they're giving you a lot of time, that's 4 months, to basically get these cars licensed and tagged or removed from the property. And then basically 4 months to mow the grass and trim some of the shrubbery. That's what you're asking today, as I understand the case. Do you have a problem solving that by September 17th? Well, here's the situation. People who come for a special magistrate, it's primarily a motivator. And I understand that, and I've been doing this for 38 years now. And a lot of people come in and they have issues very similar to yours, and we're very sympathetic to this. Unfortunately, I don't have any jurisdiction to handle anything but determine whether there's a violation and whether there's an appropriate compliance done for it. Right now, from what I can see, there are 2 violations which are relatively minor and they are solvable. And I understand there may be difficulties in resolving those as far as. But 120 days is a long time. Now, there's no fine that starts today. But I will tell you that on September 18th of this year, if the problems aren't resolved, a fine of $25 per day for violation, that's 3 violations, $75 a day to start to accrue on this property. That's not something anybody wants. The city doesn't want your money, they want compliance. That's all the reason they're here today, is to get compliance. And I'm willing to hear your statement as to what you can and can't do, but I have to say 120 days is a pretty long time to try to resolve this. No response?
No.
Do you mind living this house?
I,
You do? Okay. There's another issue?
Yes, sir. The roofing is in disrepair still.
All right. This is looking at 30-32A. This looks like it might be more of a problem. That section of the code. Oh, yeah. Which subsection is it? 10?
10, yes, sir.
Failure to replace or repair with simple improvement material in reasonable period, not to exceed 60 days, broken or missing building components, including lifted doors, windows, roofing materials, siding and drives, walks outside the right of way, which detract from the aesthetics of the neighborhood, shopping area, industrial area, or the commercial area within the service district. So this is basically roofing and disrepair, missing components.
It's, there's, yes. He did fix a corner of it where it was really bad from when Mr. Green had discussed this with or had reached out to him first. Where the tarp is, it's not fixed. It's still, you can still see through what you could see through.
So it's
To the wood.
part of it's missing.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Where both of those arrows are, there's missing parts of the roof.
What is that roofing material? Is that like a
It's,
shingle or is it
no, sure, it's like the metal,
metal? Okay.
like tin.
So some of that is missing.
Yes, sir.
All right. There are 2 arrows and both of those point to missing elements of the roof.
Yes, sir. Where the tarp, the first arrow is where the tarp is coming back blown back off of it, and you can see the missing part of the roof on that one. And where the second arrow is on your right, there is missing tin right there as well.
So just replacing those with similar material would be sufficient.
Similar material, if he can't, if he has the wood on the left-hand corner, he can replace it with that.
Does this require a building permit?
No, sir.
What else in regard to 32A10?
That was the only things there. I would like to see him not have that tarp up there, completely remove the tarp and completely repair that whole area that's under the tarp.
Mr. Neely, they're saying you got a couple of pieces of your roof missing.
Got the piece put up there. And I'm just saying, I got a piece put up there, I just ain't had time to get up there. The other day was hot. I don't feel. The other day was hot, I think I'm trying to do best I can. It was hot so much I had to keep jumping in and out of the car, keep myself cool down. I'm getting up there on how, well, I'm gonna get up there. I have to situate my own self, make sure that I don't fall off that roof, something else. But, you know, I'm gonna get that big. I already got the chain for it already.
All right. I mean, it needs to be repaired.
Something
Right. And again, the city's asking, recommending 120 days, that's September 17th. I mean, there's going to be a reasonable time in my mind to see if you can put a couple pieces on this roof.
Yes.
The other cases is 30 days. This is 120. And again, the whole point of this is trying to bring property in the neighborhood up to some kind of standard for the benefit of the entire neighborhood, as well as the city as a whole, as well as the property owner. Right. Unless there's something else.
No, sir.
All right. Based on the evidence and testimony, I'm going to find it's appropriate to enter an order finding violations of section 30-32A, overgrown grass. Mostly this is just mowing the grass mowing the ground grass and vegetation to a level consistent with that of the rest of the neighborhood, and fit to the vegetated growth.
Yes, sir.
that you need. The 3 abandoned vehicles, the testimony evidence indicates the vehicles are untagged and licensed, and they need to be tagged and licensed from property and otherwise make open. And 3, 30-32A10 roofing disrepair. Looks like 2 places on the roof where roof needs to be mended and holes filled.
Yes,
Part
sir.
removed.
Yes, sir. Correct.
That's it. Mow the grass, tend to the vegetation, register the cars, fix these 2 holes in the order finding violations. Granting 120 days from today's date at the end of business on September 17, 2025 to make the necessary repairs. You need to make sure you know how to get in touch with this dryer to make sure you contact her when the compliance is done. You don't want these fines to start. Because the fines will start on September 18th. The fine is $25 a day per violation. So you get some of them cured, that's helpful, knocks it down some. But you don't want this to go. We'll get an order out to be signed today, be sent by certified mail to the official address and record, which currently is there. And Mr. Neely, I hope you appreciate, like I said, the only thing I can deal with is what the situation is, what the violation is, whether there's substantial evidence to support a violation. I think there has been. I very much appreciate difficulties you had, but I have to tell you, being a property owner, put some responsibility on you that you got to deal with some things, and that maintaining the property is one of them. So this is one of those cases. You're not the first one. You will not be the last one to come in front of code enforcement. A special magistrate to deal with this, but it is something that has to be done. So I appreciate your patience and your coming today. Thank you very much for your participation. And with that, we're going to conclude the hearing before the special magistrate at 2:18.
Fine, to do an email.
I struggled.
Yeah.
I struggled.
I did not know where it's.